Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and one of my favorite spots in the Lone Star State is Fort Davis. Spending the night in the Indian Lodge or spending some time at the McDonald Observatory is always on the top of my list. But seeing the namesake of the town might be one of the best reasons to head way out west. The Davis Mountains have always been one of my favorite stops in the Lone Star State. The natural beauty of this desolate destination is different here, but not many see it thanks to its isolation. Well, if you think this part of the state is hard to get to, imagine what it was like back in the 1850s.
The night skies out here are just amazing.
John Heiner is the chief ranger at the Fort Davis National Historic Site, and he too appreciates how close to heaven he is here.
Sometimes the stars are so brilliant, I call it star pollution. There's just so many of them out there.
Since 1996, John has been stationed at Fort Davis, which might just make him the longest serving federal employee here ever. But this wasn't his first gig at an iconic American park.
Actually, I probably had the most glamorous job with the National Park Service to begin with. I was a janitor at Grand Canyon National Park. You've heard of Grand Canyon, right?
Yeah, very nice place.
Yes.
I guess everybody has to pay their dues, huh?
Yes, sir.
Today he gets to tell the story that starts in 1854, when Fort Davis was established.
Fort Davis is here because of really what happened in California. One of the best travel routes to California from Texas is through this part of Texas on into New Mexico and Arizona and so forth, because you don't have a lot of snowy passes to deal with. You had fairly reliable water sources along the way. So you had thousands of travelers using what was known as the San Antonio-El Paso Road across Texas. And you can only guess where the San Antonio-El Paso Road may have gone. As folks were moving west, they started having a lot more interaction and conflict with various American Indian tribes, such as the Comanche and the Apache. So who did they call on for protection? You know, the United States Army. So this is one of the original barracks that was built in the late 1860s. These buildings are made out of dirt blocks called adobe. And today, we just kind of use it as a general display of some of the activities that would have been going on here at the fort.
At its height, Fort Davis is believed to have had 600 enlisted men at the fort.
Fort Davis was the largest town between San Antonio and El Paso.
Really?
At that time, yeah.
How many people?
Between 1,500 and 2,000, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's it now?
About the same.
Not growing too much around here.
No. Definitely more cows than people a lot of times, you know.
Considered one of the best preserved forts in the Southwest, the buildings include officers' quarters, the barracks, and even a hospital.
Originally, Fort Davis probably had over 100 structures here, very much like these buildings that you're seeing here today. Fort Davis was one of the most modern hospitals in the Army at the time. Yeah, wow. They were highly trained in medicine and had to take some pretty rigorous tests to actually become a surgeon, you know, for the United States Army.
From 1867 to 1885, Buffalo soldiers were stationed at Fort Davis, and among them was Henry O. Flipper. The former slave was the first African American to graduate from West Point.
Well, this is the restored barracks. This is very much what like an enlisted men's barracks would have looked like in the 1800s. And this one's modeled after Troop H of the 10th Cavalry, the Buffalo soldiers that were out here at Fort Davis.
Very neat.
And as you look around, you see various names on the ends of the bunks. These were actual soldiers with this troop. We're representing about, I think, 26 men in here. The whole troop may have had a total of about 70 men, and the others would have lived on the other side of the barracks.
Okay. These were some incredible guys to be able to come out here and do this.
They were. You know, $13 a month was, especially to a lot of these African American men. They had been slaves before the Civil War. This was an opportunity for them to come to join the Army and come to the frontier.
Real comfy, I'm sure.
It was stuffed with hay. You know, the horses weren't eating the hay, so they put them in the mattresses, about 13 pounds. And you know, you've heard the old saying, "Hit the hay."
There you
That's
go.
where it came from.
What's stunning about Fort Davis is not only the history, but also the setting. Surrounded by rock formations reaching to the skies.
There's only less than a handful of places in the world that you'll see these formations. It's just the untouched beauty of the area. You can look at the historic photos, and really a lot of these mountains and houses don't look much different than they did 100 years ago.
Yeah, truly. So if history, geology, natural beauty, and the people who made Texas what it is today interests you, a stop at Fort Davis is the perfect stop on the Texas bucket list.
History in general really intrigues me. Everybody has a story. They may not think their story is that important, but it's unique to them, and there's always something to learn from everybody.